we look pretty equal.
Perfect. Yeah, the delay going too.
Yeah, 60-second
Beautiful.
delay.
Nice. All right.
But
Well,
yeah, from yeah.
this is the second beta tournament for the OFM relaunch. We have a new feature we're testing. It's the Doomsday Clock feature. Very much a very interesting idea we have here. Basically, William Milena, do you want to explain what the game mode is?
So the Doomsday Clock is basically a timer that ticks through the game, and as the game progresses, the minimum size threshold, so the minimum size you're allowed to be, also increases. And if you are found to be below that minimum size, you are basically not kicked straight away, but you're basically destroyed. It means that people have to keep pushing, have to keep expanding through the entire game, forcing players to play aggressive and to make decisions rather than just island max or just do nothing.
It is.
Is that? Yep.
That is exactly right. The goal is to force players to keep moving so that we can end the games quicker. We have a lot of like potential options for like stopping the stalemates. The stalemates really kill just all the excitement of the game, and so we consider things like disabled alliances and adding gold or removing gold from the game. Ultimately, we thought that none of the in-game modes really could help the core game mechanic of the game advance, and so we chose to create a new one. And Zixer was very fast in his work. He was able to deploy it to the game. You guys should be able to play on the main branch on OpenFront.io. You'll be able to actually play the what we call Doomsday Clock in your private matches, or possibly soon in public matches. So we hope you guys enjoy that little addition to the game from the OFM side.
Nice. So I've currently got the first link up, which is round one, game one, Australia. I'm watching it on 2x speed. So as the same as last time, guys, the qualifiers are finishing about now, and so we're gonna watch the replays of the qualifiers, and then we're gonna live watch the semi-final and the final.
That is correct. So right now, I believe you have game round one, game one up. Is that correct?
I think so. It's the Australia one. It's the first link that was there.
That's right. And you can see in the top right the new additions to the game, the Doomsday Clock. So right now you have to hold more than 0% of the board, but in a minute and 30 seconds right there, you'll have to own 3% of the board, or else you will lose your troops and become vulnerable.
How has the player response been? I've not been looking at it, but if going off usual open front changes, I'm assuming there's some people that don't like change.
Oh, there will always be people who don't like change. There, people are very used to playing a certain way, and however, this is Open Front Masters. The masters of the game must be able to adapt to any kind of situation that they might find themselves in. So
True.
as per usual, people who don't like change aren't going to like it. But if we look at the results of the games, the players we generally understand as like good players are scoring highly and are getting to the end game per usual. So it's not like a huge mix up to the game type. This is really just enforcing people to actually move. And in this game
Yeah.
specifically, we see some interesting gameplay from Space Sheep, who's in the middle. He's number one on the tracker front leaderboard, but he will end up getting into sudden death or doomsday, and then he will need to move to get out of sudden death, and he does end up doing that. You will see that uh, in the middle of the game going on. But it is causing people. Another thing that's nice that's been happening is, a lot of times people are holding onto their gold. They're not using their nukes throughout the game. However, they are forced to advance throughout the game. So they're using their nukes. You're going to see a lot of nukes start flying in the middle of the game instead of everyone holding it for the end game.
Yeah, I think overall, forcing players to push and be aggressive can only be a good thing. A player that was going to be below that threshold probably wasn't going to go on to do anything major. And without the Doomsday Clock, they would just sit there for as long as possible. With the Doomsday Clock, now the game is sped up, but it at least feels like, from what you've explained, it feels like the game is sped up in like an organic way, and
Yeah.
the game develops in a way that it would anyway.
That is correct. All the games are still. Last tournament we had 20-minute game timer, right? And but everybody was waiting for the very end to use their nukes, and they were just sitting there until the end. However, now that's not the case. People are using them, expelling their resources earlier, and
Mhm.
at the end of the game, it's really just a fight for that final few percents. While throughout the game, activity has been done.
So I have a Roy's member in the tournament today. He's not one of our strongest members. He's a young lad, but he was messaging me saying, "Oh, are you sure you want me to play? Are you sure you want me to have the Roy's tag?" He was saying things like, "I'm not going to do very well," and I said to him, "Look, dude, like it's all about just getting involved. It's all about just playing." So hopefully we see him do something. But either
Absolutely.
way, it's just nice to get people involved.
For sure it is. We want to really improve accessibility to the general player base, and I think it's been doing so well so far. These last two tournaments we ran are the most popular tournaments, OFM tournaments in history. They're the biggest tournaments in Open
Mhm.
Front so far, and we hope to continue that and continue expanding that and providing just good gameplay services for our Open Front players.
Yeah, this first game, we're only 5 minutes in, and the game is developing quite nicely. Lots of bombs are getting sent.
Yep,
So, kind of break down for me right now what the Doom's clock. What does that mean at the top right of the screen right now? What is happening here?
So at the moment, the doomsday clock is slowly rising up to 5%. Every 5 minutes or
Hmm.
so, it will rise another increment. And so you
Hmm.
can see it ticking up 4.7, 4.8, 4.9. Once it hits 5%, another timer is going to pop up on that top right for when you need to actually get to the next percentage. So all the players in the game understand when they need to be at one percentage. So in roughly 20 seconds, it's going to start ticking up to 10%. So slowly over time, it just
Right.
ticks up.
Okay. I feel like based on the holds in the Doomsday Clock and then the rises, there's almost going to feel like there's waves of gameplay happening
It
because
would
people are going to be incentivized to move at the same time.
Yeah, that tends to happen. It's almost like you're forcing that. If you look in the right now in the middle, a spaceship has a
Mhm.
skull over him. So that skull is the doomsday
Yes.
meter. That means that he is
Right.
draining troops at this moment. You can see him draining troops, and
Oof.
you see him attack a player who had a defend debuff, and he's just barely under threshold right now, and he has to get
Yeah,
above that threshold. He just
he
barely gets
has
above it.
to.
7.4%. He has to take that nuke land where normally in the past you wouldn't
Right.
necessarily take that nuke
Right.
land, just so you can rise above that threshold.
I think this could be a very positive development in the competitive scene. Now, I've not read through everybody's complaints. I'm sure there'll be complaints, but so far, just on the surface of it, it feels like it speeds up the gameplay without placing any particular advantage on any particular play style. It just speeds it up, hopefully,
That is what we're
in a good
aiming
way.
for. And there'll be
Yeah.
some tweaking involved. We might change the timer just a little bit or the speed it goes into. But so far, the game results have been good. You see a bunch of nukes have already been flying out. We already have a Merv on the board, 10 minutes into the game. And so people are just actually moving where before they just didn't.
Yeah. It's good. It's really good. So Doomsday Clock is in this game is now at 10%, and you can see off from the leaderboard, the only people in the game are above 10%. If you're below 10%, then the Doomsday Clock is just destroying all of your troops, making you super weak, so that the players can remove you from the game.
That's
And
exactly it.
soon it's going to tick. Now it's ticking again. So now Dougie has the skull. Now Dougie has to do something. He's not really in a position where he can do anything. He's trying to take that irradiated land, and it's going to save him for maybe a split second or two, but he's back under. And that's going to be the end of Dougie. And unfortunately, he didn't keep up with the clock.
Yep. And then Spaceship
Spaceship.
also.
Mm,
Now, one thing that's
spaceship's
interesting,
getting.
if you hold a lot of money, you can prevent yourself from being taken immediately, but eventually you're just going to be so weak, the opportunity to take you will present itself. And you
And with
also,
the money, you just refer to the potential for the player to throw bombs and stuff like that?
yep, exactly.
Mhm.
So he's gonna set. He's drained completely of troops. He is essentially he's out of the game. He could be a little bit of a nuisance with his nuclear bombs and prevent people from attacking him, which could keep him into the game placement wise, but it will not allow him to snowball the map anymore.
Hmm. And placement for these qualifier games is still the hybrid scoring system of players
Correct.
removed, total size, and longevity in the game.
And kills, right? Yes, players removed. Yeah.
And kills, yeah, yeah, all three of those things, which is really good. So yeah, Spaceship has an incentive to try and stay in. Like you said, he's only got 5 troops, but because of his 42 million gold, he's still a threat.
Yep.
And so people aren't just full sending him because they will receive potentially 8 hydrogen bombs.
You see already some new tech developing. He nuked his own land so that he could put a silo in the middle of the wilderness so that if someone rushes his land, he still has those silos available to instant nuke someone.
He's letting everybody know that he will ruin their game if you come for me.
That is correct. And keep in mind the kills are not flat. You get more points for a kill if they're bigger. So Spaceship being this
Mm,
size, he's a very valuable kill at this moment. Someone could risk their game to get some extra points on this.
interesting. Very interesting.
We also see people taking nuke land a lot more often, where in the past nuke land would just sit on the board, doing nothing, contributing nothing to the game.
Now, I am assuming that this game is going to go to Gix, but as you know, in open front, games can go many ways.
Yep.
And potentially a stalemate like this without the Doomsday Clock could just keep on going. But with the Doomsday Clock, now Empire of K is below the threshold. Gix can
Yep.
make his move, and ooh, there's the Merv, but nobody has troops.
Exactly.
There's a lot of Mervs,
So this
but yeah,
game,
that's game.
it's effectively game at this point. It's just minor cleanups of the map in order to
Yeah.
get that 80%. And we can go on to the second game to see what happens there. But it's 5 minutes left in the game. It was a 25-minute cap, so they moved
Mhm.
very quickly to finish this game. It's a domination finish, which is what we would like to see.
Is it a problem if a link to a finished game is briefly on the screen? Is that a problem?
No, no. If it's finished already, they can't do anything about it. That's fine.
Cool, cool. Moving into round one, game two now, loading that one up.
And now that we kind of understand how the games work, we can actually do a little faster max speed to get out of the early game and more into the mid.
Was this also Australia?
This is the
So
game two of round one, so it's going to be the same map in each round.
right, okay. Just a separate, different bunch of players, right?
Correct. This is the split lobby, so this is the second half of players.
Okay. So fun watching these games play out at max speed. It's so interesting. It's obviously
Because
hard to keep track of, but it's very visually pleasing.
we already see, it's 10 minutes of the game. The Doomsday Clock is ticking up to 5% now at 15 minutes, and we have so much movement happening on the board.
Yeah, let's see what's going on here. So, in first place is this NRV Kasane Tito. Now, again, players could be using names that we don't usually know them by.
Yes,
So, you know,
that one is a known name that Paragon likes to go by. It's an anime name. He likes that stuff. So we have Paragon, Pluto, SMS. We have Ludo, Atreides. We just have a lot of known players in this, and you can see the nukes just fly all throughout the game. Still 10 minutes left, and people are expending their gold. It's not just a Merv stalemate endgame. And that is a quick another domination, less than 20 minutes in the game without having to force the clock to be high.
nice. Okay. Moving on to round two, game one. I'm cheesing maxing it. Says round five was his best match. Nice. Valgic says that the first game we watched was a banger round. Gonna put this one. Where are we? Okay, this link is still at. mm, is this
Uh,
max speed or 2x? What's this? Is
looks like
this
it's
live?
it's max speed. It's not live. I'm guessing there's something with someone still being open front, not categorizing the game as finished, even though it is.
Right.
Uh,
Okay.
Sometimes there's some open front technical issues that happen.
Yeah.
But this game is very interesting. In the end game, there ends up being 3 players, and 1 player will end up being in Doomsday the entire time, which is super interesting. But we have Aki and Ramen, 2 of our Japanese professional players, part of the Zev clan. They end up taking the game and putting it in this kind of a deadlock stalemate. Both have 40% of the map, and just like in previous games we saw, they're motivated to actually keep moving and keep making the game operate.
We never saw moves like that in last weekend's tournament. Nowhere
De-
near this level of bombs.
Definitely not, and it's really nice to see players expend their resources.
So you just said these two players were Japanese players.
Yes,
What clan did you just say they were part of?
the XEV, the Zev clan, is pretty much the elite
XE.
Japanese players.
Right. Okay.
It's been very unfortunate that, like, time zone wise, there has been no good Asian time zone tournaments. However, we will likely try introducing more tournaments for their time zone in the future in OFM, just to try and capture a bit of that player base.
Yeah, definitely. It has to be done at the right time because we don't want to split the one player base into two smaller groups. We have to be sure that that time zone group has enough players to support itself.
Exactly. And so far, there wasn't previous Asian support a lot in the competitive scene. We hope to be able to provide that so that they can actually, participate in our beloved game on a high level. But this is a Lisbon
So
game.
Ram Raider 24/7 says, "Is this a tournament?" This is the OFM tournament. It's a free for all tournament. It is too late for you to join in, but there's tournaments like this happening all the time, Ram Raider, and you just need to join the Open Front Masters Discord to get involved.
So again, just
And
like before, we see all the nukes coming out trying to finish out that game. Zorbus ends up taking this game between Bembe and Alpha. Bembe and Alpha both had the Doomsday Clock on them, which let Zorbix actual take the win in this, another domination win.
Unfortunately, it doesn't look like the website is going to let us watch these games at 2x.
Classic. You know what you could do? You could use the replay analyzer if the game has technically ended. That might be able to the tool that Flow Penguin used. Do you have that bookmarked?
I don't know what you're talking about, but you could
Oh,
send me a link.
I will send you a link right now. So if a game has officially ended, so a win screen has popped up, you can open up that tool. You can put the game ID in
Hmm.
that tool, and you can watch it.
Right. Okay. Let's have a look.
So next game should be a Middle East game that you'd be able to play. NDG, that tag.
Okay. Yeah. NDGW7UGT. And I can ignore the question mark, I assume. Replay ready, redirecting. Oh, nice.
This should allow you to pause the game if there is a win screen that popped up, which it does. Perfect.
Nice. Really nice. So this is Middle East round 4. Gonna watch this one in 2x. I'm not sure how much time we've got until the semis. I'm guessing we've got still quite a while.
Looks like we do. I believe the last game. Let me check real quick. Looks like the last game is still
Yeah, no
going on.
problem. Can you make Eagle sing the national anthem?
Oh, say, can you see? No, I'm not a singer.
Nice,
That's for sure.
nice.
God bless America.
Uh,
America's birthday, 250th birthday today. Yeah.
the day you guys broke free. God damn it.
Uh, the biggest.
Melon says, "Hey, millennial, how you doing? I'm doing good. I'm sad that Eagle didn't sing the full national anthem there. I was ready for a full rendition.
Well, I've got to have the flag on screen for me to do it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we don't have that right now. It is the 4th of July. Happy 4th to everybody who is American, and whoever's not American, just that's too bad, honestly.
Get out.
It's too
Get
bad,
out.
honestly. Uh,
We got a message here from Yubi asking about how many people qualify. What's the situation this time with numbers and people going into the semis?
So I believe it's going to be so it's either top 50% or top 50, I believe.
100.
Top 100. We will see what it depends on how many players are in the tournament for
Yeah.
who qualifies. But pay attention to the OFM Discord server, the players chat, the players info, that kind of stuff for knowledge. If you qualify, you could also do standings. If all the games have finished, you can do OFM standings in the bot command channel in order to see what the standings are. So right here in this Millie's game, we have a bunch of players all around. Of course, this is a massive lobby FFA, and we have the Doomsday Clock, who is going to start ticking in a minute up to 3%. So we'll be able to see right now at this point in time, only one player has 3% of the board. So players will have to start moving in order to get above that threshold
Mm.
soon.
Yeah, so 30 seconds away from the 3%. And like you said, only one now. Now a couple of people have only just hit 3%. So the doomsday clock really does tick quite fast.
Yes, it does. 5 minutes in, you better be above 3%. But it will again, it will start ticking up slowly at the start. So right now you can see it's 0.1% is about to hit 0.2%, and so it just slowly ticks up. It tells you, hey, you better start moving, buddy. You're gonna get eliminated if you don't.
I've not managed to see my Roy's member once, so maybe he got eliminated super fast in every game, or maybe he's playing under a different name. I'm not sure.
So right now we have
120 participants, so 60 going into the semis, and then I'm guessing 30 into the final.
that looks like it's correct.
That is the information from Zixa. Zixa the man.
One thing we see in all of these professional games is that the players who we know are good end up getting qualified or end up winning the game or placing highly. So there's no big chaos factor involved. It's just really a matter of how the games play out.
Got two interesting comments here on the stream. We've got Captain Clark saying that he's guessing everybody watching this stream are sweats in open front and are ranked top 100 and above, and he gives a crying emoji. So I don't think he's done very well, and now he's not happy.
They're just to keep in mind. Yeah, if you talk about top 100 in the standings, possibly. If he's on the 1v1 leaderboard, a lot of pro players don't play 1v1s. They just don't like the format at all. It has increased in popularity a little bit with some push from the community, but it is not the end all be all of open front skill.
Hmm. There's different ways to express open front skill, and there's different interests in open front. Some people um, don't play any FFAs. There's a lot of casual players that love to do team games when we're streaming. They love to sit in the back line and build some ports, but if you mention an FFA, they act as if they're allergic to them. So there's a
That
lot
is
of different
correct.
people with different interests.
I believe I have over, I have a couple, maybe 2,000 team games in my career, but only about 100 FFAs. So I may or may not be one of those types of players.
You are one of those players.
Uh,
And we've got what else? The other message. Ben Banowski was asking if Doomsday mode will be available in the public branch. Will it be available soon?
if it goes well, if there's a little bit of tweaking, I think that it will eventually be available if it's not already. Yeah, it is already available. If you go on openfront.io, you create a custom lobby or a solo lobby, you see the Doomsday Clock option in your game, in your settings. So you can click on Doomsday Clock and you can use it to practice or play with your friends or do anything you want with it.
Hmm. So we've seen this game. I'm picking on Dougie right now just because I saw Dougie's name in chat. Dougie is below the Doomsday Clock threshold there, so he's going to be eliminated from the game.
He
And you
is.
might have missed this at the start of the stream, but the first thing we talked about was how this Doomsday Clock here, this new feature, basically speeds up the game. Because if you don't meet a certain size requirement, let me say that word, requirement, then the game basically drains you of your troops and basically means that you're eliminated. So it really speeds up the game.
without putting in like too much of an artificial like time cap, right? There's no the goal is to eliminate stalemates in the long term. People are able to actually make decisions on their own. They're not time gated by a clock. They're just you have to keep moving. You're incentivized to keep moving and keep playing the game.
Nice. People are mentioning GGs for certain positions in the leaderboard. So I'm guessing that do we have stand-ins for qualifiers already?
Let us see. It looks like the last game has finished, and we will be able to see that when we watch it. Let me check if the standings are live already.
Yazin said that. Where did he say that? Made me laugh. Yazin said, "Eagle sounds zinned up. Respect."
Brother, how I'm not Zinda, but I may or may not have, I may be double lipping right now, if you know what I mean. I may be double, possibly triple lipping. So you know what it is, Zine. We do have the standings. It looks like they are live. Yes, if you look at the bot command channel in OFM and you do OFM
Savaganda.
standings,
OFM masters bot commands.
then
Not
you
the
can
staff one. In the community.
yes, under community, under bot commands, I just used the OFM standings and I selected the tournament. This one is the V2 beta. You can see right there these standings.
Nice. Okay. Is there a way for me to full screen this? Probably not. Am I okay to show this on screen already?
The standings, yeah, I think that is. One thing that does happen is that we verify the games secondhand, so there might be some variation, but overall, this should be accurate. But those are the current standings, and you can see just generally who is going to be in the game. You can actually also on the bottom where it says overall, you can click on the specific
Uh-huh.
games, so you can see
Wow.
round
Okay.
one, game one, round one, game two, and the other
Okay.
rounds all throughout there. You can select each individual standing, and this is all available on the OFM Discord in the bot commands channel. You can use this.
Okay. I'm getting a call there. I'm going to ignore the call. Thank you, Yazine. Um, okay. Should we pull up a link for another game or what should we do next?
Yes, we should while we wait for the next games, the semifinals to start. We can open up the
Okay.
gateway to the Atlantic game or the Strait of Gibraltar. The Strait of Gibraltar, it looks like.
Round 5, I think.
That should be the PQV game.
Yes. Okay. Perfect.
And then you might have to use the Yeah, you'll have to use the analyzer.
Got it. Got it. Okay.
Since OpenFront has not categorized this as complete yet on their end.
It's a good job that I'm a master of technology. Okay, there we go. Let's get this on 2x. Let's get chat back up. I saw some interesting questions there. What do we have? First time chat from Wicket Man. If I leave my game to make next round, do I still get points if your corpse place is higher? Yes.
So if
Yes.
if your corpse place is higher, no, you are counted as like leaving the game when you do leave the game, and so it's really kind of like a risk reward kind of analysis you have to make whether or not you can get more points by staying in the game and playing it out, or if you can gain more points in the next game. With the Doomsday
Yeah.
Clock, though, it is a matter of if you really don't think so, you might consider that.
Yeah, and the chances of you placing higher from the moment you leave almost statistically impossible, really, because you're going to go AFK and everyone's going to eat your land straight away.
Yep, especially
So I don't really see how that could work.
with the incentives you have now to take the land.
Mofka's here. Look at this dude. Partnered next week soon. Mofka very soon. Lexo saying go Dougie. People are cheering on Dougie. Let's go Dougie. Dougie from JR, the boy. Yazine, I keep telling Jeffy to use the secure line. Free Dougie. Dougie doesn't need being freed. Dougie is free. So this is round 5, Straits of Gibraltar. We're watching the game on 2x speed. The top 60 players from the qualifiers will be playing one semi-final, one FFA against each other, and then the top 30 from that game will go into one final, where the one winner of that game wins the entire tournament. So the stakes are high. The
That
stakes
is
are really
correct.
high.
And assuming there has been no big technical issues so far, cross our fingers. If there are no technical issues, these will count as qualifiers for the major also. So
Nice.
we will see a lot of players actually qualify for the major, hopefully, assuming that nothing
Nice.
happens.
Assuming everything goes smoothly. Boba says, so does placement give score or just kill? So your placement is based on how many people you killed. It's based on how big you were at the end of the game, or is it any point in the game?
I believe it's
How
final
big?
placement and it's kills. And so if you kill a player who's big, that is awarded more points than if you kill a tiny
Yeah.
player.
And also how many players you survived longer than in the game.
Yep, correct.
Yes. So there's a few different factors, Boba.
Boba.
Ben Banowski says, how are you doing, future Bagno Zilka? Is Zilka joining Bagno? Is that true?
I think that's what I heard right there. Is that
That's what we heard. That is the latest news. Dougie says he survived in this game on the island on the east. Island on the east?
the island on the east?
Maybe he's referring to something we looked at a minute ago.
Possibly.
Although, no,
Oh,
maybe he's referring to that tiny island in the Straits there.
did they add that island into I did not see them add
I
that island
I
into the
don't
game.
remember that being there, but
Uh, it probably came with all the terrain changes they made to a bunch of the maps.
right, okay.
Yeah, I don't know if
Okay.
you like if you press spacebar right now, you'll see a lot of the terrain is different than previous versions of the game. When they did that big update, they added in they just fixed up some of the terrain. There's a lot more
Right.
highlands. The mountains, it used to be like a mountain and then green right next to the mountain. That typically you won't see that anymore. Just improve the gradients of the terrain.
Hmm.
Eagle is the biggest open from I am the biggest, if you know what I mean. I am the biggest. So there is that. I'm not playing it. Unfortunately, I put those days behind me in order to help the competitive scene actually grow a bit.
It's for the good of the OFM scene that Eagle Eye did hang his boots up, because otherwise there wouldn't even be any competition left, guys. Okay, this would be a done deal. We would just give you the crown every
That's not
time.
true. That's not true at all. So we have the Doomsday clock up there. It's taking up to 5%. We're at 3.3, up to 3.4. And if you look at the leaderboard, there's a lot of players who I think are around that threshold, who they'll need to start moving, or else they will get eliminated very quickly. You
Yeah,
see,
okay. Let's pick someone to keep an eye on here. So Ben Banowski currently on 4.3. He's on the north side of Strait of Gibraltar. He's been full sent though. He's a terrible example to watch because he got full
no,
sent.
he got
Okay,
full.
who else? Who else? Dougie on 4.2 here. So in a normal game, Dougie would be thinking, I'm safe. I've got a lot of troops. I'm going to sit here and survive. Dougie's thinking in this game, he's maybe not going to win the game, but he's going to try and survive as long as possible. But because of the doomsday clock, as the threshold passes his troop cap, he has to do something. And he fires a bomb and he dies.
It looks like he betrayed. That might have been an accidental betrayal on that player. He might have. That happens occasionally where people misplace their hydros. They panic a little bit. They see the skull and they're like, "Oh, I gotta move now," which is very unfortunate, but it happens. Looks like Dougie is on that island solo. That's what he was talking about there. He's just there with one port. Now at this point, right, he could leave the game and get prepared for the next round, but he chooses to
Mhm.
stay in and try and gain up some extra points.
Yeah, we'll see if it pays off for him. I'm trying to think, like, will it? Will Is that a good idea? Should he have stayed in the game?
It really depends on, if you think you can do better in the next game, it is a possibility that you should go to the next game
Mm.
and try and do better. If you don't, if you have low confidence, maybe you do rack up some points here to try and get qualified. Does a beer make the
Does it?
doomsday clock go faster? It does not. That would be interesting. We see Lucas pushing the spaceship, some counter hydros happening, and he has now the debuff. The spaceship's going to take all that land back. Lucas is going to be pretty weak. Chuma's sitting at 1.4 million troops with a high amount
Mm.
of gold and troops and
True
land.
peasant lands on spaceship. See, I was just thinking there, Chuma with only one border and the guy on the border, obviously allied, but so low on troops. I was thinking, is Chuma going to break alliance?
Looks like he decides to play it safe, and then he goes
Goes into
into.
true peasant.
Okay. So she has a doomsday clock. He ran out of land. He got hydroed, so he's going to be quickly eliminated out of this game. And we have Make on the bottom, Chuma up top. Lucas betrays again and gets taken out by Chuma.
Once you have the skull of the doomsday clock, does it do anything to your alliances? Does it break them for the player? Does it do anything like that?
Not at the moment, it does not. This is just, we're considered tweaking it based on results. So far,
Yeah.
it has moved pretty decently, and so that might not be necessary. That might possibly be an addition in the future. We'll see how the games continue to go.
So this game has kind of advanced. I would say, well, yeah, there's two players left. And without the Doomsday Clock, this game would probably still have maybe 10, 15 players, all around 5 or 10%. But the Doomsday Clock has basically cleared them off the board.
That is correct. We see rapid consolidation of land, roughly equal end game at this point in time. And we have Mervs already at 10 minutes. We have those Mervs you'd expect at the end of the game pop off now.
Mistake number one is attacking spaceship. True. So who's
Yeah,
going to win this? I don't actually know who wins this game. We've got Dougie firing a bomb there over here. I think he's trying to score elimination points, and he probably did just score an elimination point.
that
So,
is
and
pretty
that's kind
interesting.
of that's why Dougie stayed in the game. He secures a higher rank in the game, and he secures elimination points, and he scores points for lasting longer in the game.
So he deleted that port just to start nuking those tiny pixel players. Semifinal will start soon, it looks like. We're just waiting for the links to be posted.
There's the full send. I'm not entirely sure where Chuma's troops went in that situation, but they went somewhere. And
And
that was
that is
GG to make.
game. Need some help? Look at the open front tutorial. So now we can look at the last game. It's going to be between two C's. It is the BWW. BWW game.
Got it. Between two C's, and this was the last qualifier game, yeah?
Correct.
Okay.
We can max
I'll
speed
leave
this
this on
into the
2x. Max speed.
into
Okay.
the mid game right here. Probably like 10 minutes in at the 15-minute counter, you can probably go back to 2x.
This one started with definitely more than 20 minutes. I'm not
Yeah. So
is that supposed to happen?
because we added with the doomsday clock, which is balanced around 20 minutes, we think that having the game stop a little later to allow for those end game micro plays is okay, because the games have been consolidating a lot faster. So here we have Zorbix.
Dougie has discovered the tech. That means he's figured out the new meta already.
Interesting. There's gonna be a lot of new meta stuff popping up.
This game has a really clear leader really early on. Zolbik's on a major snowball operation right now.
It does. We'll see if anybody has the opportunity to maybe counter nuke. Stanley has 20 mil. Alpha is sitting at 24 million. And Zorix just continues expanding. He understands that you got to keep moving or you die.
Hmm. Would you say that here's me theorizing again about metas, and I always ramble on about metas. I'm sure people don't like it, but I like it. So the Doomsday Clock increases the pace of the game. Therefore, the real world value of nukes, atom bombs, hydros has increased because they're now more useful, or you could argue more necessary to
Right.
clear enemies off the board. Um, Therefore, even though the cost of a construction stays the same regardless of the rule format in the tournament, the actual application value of that item, a city, a port, a missile silo, or a bomb, can change based on the meta of the tournament. And I find that really interesting.
That
I do.
is correct. You,
I
you
do.
might even see it like if someone is snowballing or something that the players haven't done yet, but they might start incorporate doing, is you can start atom bombing the people who are in the lead or people who are on the threshold of being able to get above the doomsday clock. You could atom bomb their cities, make it so it's harder for them to essentially get above the threshold. You can kill them through the doomsday clock by just effectively uh,
Mhm.
ruining their ability to
By
expand.
poking little holes in them, little atom bomb sized holes.
Yep, that is correct. We see like Pluto on the right side. He is out of troops, and so he's going to be eaten. We have a Merv going on to Stanley. Quite unfortunate.
Yeah, I'm kind of what you said has took about 20 seconds to sink into my brain, but I'm kind of fleshing the idea out in my brain that you could push the enemy below the threshold with a few bombs.
Yep,
And that
exactly,
that's really powerful. That's really powerful. You don't need to invade. If you poke enough hydro holes in them and put them below the threshold, instantly their troops start to just evaporate.
exactly. It makes bombs a lot more valuable than they were in the past, which is I think why we're seeing the bombs come out a lot faster now.
Yeah. And when bombs become more valuable, SAM sites become more valuable just because they are the only counter to bombs.
Potentially, if you're small enough for a SAM to actually cover your land,
Yeah. Do we have a link for the semis? Just check in. Don't want to miss anything,
we
anything crazy.
I haven't seen a link up yet, but I've been told it is a few minutes coming. I believe they're probably just checking. They like to make sure the games are actually scored correctly, so we don't have any people who didn't get in, who shouldn't have, or who should have qualified and did qualify.
NRV is a tag I'm not familiar with. Is that a well known clan?
So that's just a bunch of friends who play. We got a couple UN guys in there. Got a couple of cross clan. It's like a cross clan little group of friends who play. We'll see like
Okay.
Whalefall and Paragon and stuff on that.
So this is the last qualifier, guys. These are all replays, okay, of the qualifiers that started 2 hours ago and they ran for about an hour and a half. Um, all of the points from all of these games were collected together into one leaderboard. The top half of the players are going to go into the semi final free for all, which is starting in a few minutes, and it's just one game. Yeah, so it's time for the semis very soon. Obviously, we watched that game live at one speed, so we're going to be able to analyze a lot that's going on.
It looks like we do have
Eagle
the
Eye
link.
is going to be. We got the link. Okay,
Yep. If
okay.
look at the staff overview, you will see the link there.
Let's get in. Gonna go put my face cam on, my juicy face cam, just so I don't leak anything. People love the face cam. That's why they're here.
People
Come
love it.
on.
Yes, true. And No balding happening on the facecam. No balding allowed.
No balding today, sir. You said look at the staff chat,
Staff overview. So
staff overview.
up at the
Yes,
top,
sir.
the V2 beta.
Okay, let's get this full screen. Let's hide the ID, and then we can get the screen. Then we can get the game on the screen. Semi-finals. So if you were not fortunate enough to qualify, then you know, thanks for playing. We don't have any bronze medals to give you, but we'll give you a pat on the shoulder. Come back next time.
So we got 3 minutes, 30 seconds until this game starts. We have the lovely timer that's been added into the game by Frederick in one of the mini patches, which allows you to just delay the starting of the lobby. You don't have to have a separate timer in Discord for when games start.
Nice.
Yes, definitely. No one in chat should tell the Millennial that he's balding at all, because he's not balding, right? He's not balding. So if you're in chat, do not tell him that he's balding. Just keep that in mind, guys.
Did Lewis tell you to try and keep hammering the nail of my balding into this content? Is this Lewis behind the scenes?
Listen, you will never hear me admit to leaking any conversations between people individually. I am not a leaker.
This is definitely Lewis's doing here. Lewis is behind the scenes playing the strings. I know Lewis is UN affiliated. I know you're UN affiliated. There's definitely some weird kind of conspiracy going on here because I can see my hairline on my stream preview and it looks fine.
Listen, I would never, ever, ever, well, trust me, I would never admit to that. Okay, so so we don't have to worry about it, right?
Okay. Well, that clears it up then. That clears it up. Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. I can't wait for the stream delay to pop up and then just see 20 balds in the chat.
Yeah, bald. So let's see the names we can see here. We've not been informed whether the names are going to be anonymized or not. What else? Last weekend there was a rule change about alliances. Was it between the qualifiers and the semis, or was it between the semis and the final?
What do you mean about that? Like
Alliances were turned off last weekend.
So they were on
either the
last
finals
weekend.
or the semis and the finals. There was something that changed. There was no. I don't have Alzheimer's. There was a rule that changed either between the quals and the semis, or between the semis and the finals.
I believe that was announced before the tournament started that they were allowing the alliances. It might have. I might have Alzheimer's.
I might be. What's that thing called where people think they lived like an alternate timeline because some people the Mandela effect. This
Right.
could be a Mandela effect. Maybe.
Well, luckily, the alliances are enabled in this game, and we don't have to worry about that because of the Doomsday Clock. So the reason that alliances were being played with, whether they were on or off, was to be able to incentivize snowballing and stop the stalemates from happening. With the Doomsday Clock, we don't have to worry about alliances being on or on at all.
True. If you need to break an alliance to beat that, to race ahead of that Doomsday Clock, then I'm sorry. If we've been allied, I don't care. If that Doomsday Clock is breathing down the back of my neck, I'm going to come for you and I'm going to remove you from the game.
Exactly. Mr. Mellon says, I don't think your balding can fit on the cam. That's probably true. So Zixer reminds us that the semis allow you to get extra points. Even if you die early in the semi, if you did well in the qualifiers, you can still join the finals. And here we have Zixer joining us for the finals. How you doing?
Hello, I'm good.
Hello.
Good. How are you?
Good.
Very good. Let me turn you up a little bit.
We have the game start. We have Zixer and his monkey in the chat now.
Yeah, so for the alliances, you don't have Alzheimer. Just initially, we were gonna have alliances off, but then we switched it to alliances on.
Am I reading from a script? I am reading from a script. Everything I say is completely planned out in
He is.
advance.
It's completely Chat GPT scripted.
I've already predicted how every game goes exactly.
All right, we are in the game. Where should we start, Eagle Eye? Should we call out some placements?
Let's look at the corners first. We have some interesting plays in the corners that can happen. So you have this Fratty player in the top left. It looks like there's not a lot of players in that corner. SBOS is nearby, Truly is nearby, and Puck is nearby. But that is a huge amount of land up in that corner that Fratty will be able to take if he's smart about it.
And where's your favorite spawn here, Eagle Eye? If proximity to other players wasn't a factor.
You know, in an FFA, it's right in the middle. It's right in the darn middle, right
Yeah.
on those rivers.
Yeah.
I love the green land.
Yeah.
I love being able to boat around very quickly to different locations. And I love being able to have those train lines be set up and ran all through me. I love it when the trains run through me very easily.
Oh, hey.
We look at the top left or the bottom left corner. We have Chuma sitting in that corner in the bottom left. It looks like we have a couple of other players too: Hope Slayer, Drink the Dolls, and we have who's that guy on the bottom? I think it's Ziad. So we have a couple players in those corners sitting there. When we look at pretty much the bottom right, it's going to be Bembe and Zorbix, and looks like another guy is sitting there. He might get cut off. Geographic Edits. That's an interesting name popping up there. And Mousky. Mousky was in the chat earlier, so he's in the semifinals. And that we
Lovely. Moving into the top right, we got Whalefall, who goes by a different name in Twitch or something. Is that Revenflock, or am I being silly?
Whalefall is Whalefall. He's a unique individual.
Got Globby there. Soviet Romanum. We got Zulu, SMS, Gix or Jix, Sorrow, Ing Sok. Ramen was potentially that Japanese player that you mentioned.
Yep.
Next to Aki, Japanese buddy. We'll have to keep an eye on that. Yeah. So far, SMS with the crown in the top right.
We do have some interesting things to note. Like, there's a lot of players who are not going for port economy. So you can see in the middle of Arabia, they're just sitting in the desert, little desert boys. And so I should expect some train lines popping up very quickly. We already have some from the Meow Meow player, Cat Island. In order for them to generate some economy. Keep in mind, if you are stalemated out of a position, the Doomsday Clock is going to come in and it will eliminate your troops. You will get eaten up pretty quickly if you don't expand.
Mm-hmm. And because of the Doomsday Clock speeding up the games, would you say there's any impact on the decisions players make in terms of economy? The port to factory pros and cons. Would you say there's any change to that, or does that still stand normal meta?
Well, the reality is, if you are forced to use your nukes earlier, you don't have as much opportunity to build up your economy as big as you might see in normal games. And so you're going to see slightly less economy in the end game. The decision of ports versus trains is that's a pretty tough decision to make. Obviously, if you don't have any ports, you are going to train max at the start. But ports do still make a lot of money in OpenFront. In this current version, the ports are still significantly better than trains.
Mm-hmm.
Although, if you have a bunch of people building up that infrastructure at the start, that may flip realistically.
Pre-recorded stream, scripted conversations, no bolding, great content. Thank you, Yazine.
Looks like we have we forgot to run adverts real quick before the semis. We'll work on that. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, we'll definitely get that between the semis and the finals. I'm sorry, I forgot about that.
Yes, we'll
it's
make
a good job that it happened here in the early game.
Yes. Yep. We have the Doomsday Clock is going to start ticking up in 15 seconds. So again, around this time period, we have a lot of players around 3%. So those guys are going to be feeling a little safe, but they will need to start moving for the next tick up soon.
So it's going to start rising. We should maybe keep an eye on people that are going to be affected the worst. Obviously, these guys below 1% are probably being eliminated as we speak. Yeah, Pyrrha's going. Next on the board to go is this Meow Meow, but he's already being eaten anyway. Next, we've got Ignis Zolo. He's not currently being removed. So he is in danger of being destroyed by the Doomsday Clock. Ignis
Definitely so.
Zolo.
If he's got a bunch of alliances up, since you're in the game spectating, you can right click and check on alliances to see if anyone has any up right now. He's allied to a lot of people, so it's going to be tough for him.
Yeah, he might be in
Doomsday,
trouble.
yeah, definitely. Doomsday Clock on 1% now. So Ignis in some trouble there. Wally's been removed. Above Ignis, we've got Ralph Cat, who again is very soon, in a couple of seconds, going to be in immediate trouble. And if he doesn't do any cool plays, if he doesn't figure it out, then the Doomsday Clock will destroy him.
We do so, just like all those middle players in Arabia who spawned are gonna end up getting removed if they don't move. Then I could stalemate it out. Ignace has lost all his troops, which is unfortunate for him.
One thing to remind the chat is that even if you do die in the semifinal, double check your standings after the semifinal because you might still qualify if your score was high enough during the qualifiers.
Right, yeah. So just to expand on that, your qualification for the final is a combination of the points you scored from the qualifiers and from the semi game. It's not just top 30 from the semi game, it's points from the semi game and all the points from the qualifiers. So you could have done really bad in the semi game and still qualify for the final.
And inversely, you could have done really well, but if you did very badly during the qualifiers, you might not make it to the final.
Mhm.
Although that's less likely.
Less likely because you wouldn't be there anyway.
Yeah.
So it's ticking up. We're at 2.4, 2.5% at the moment. We have a lot of players in Doomsday right now who are going to get eliminated.
Oh yeah,
and eaten up.
Ramen is about to get the skull. So Ramen, a good player, he's got the skull.
Ooh, Dougie might get eliminated. He's also a Doomsday.
Dougie is out of troops. He's
Dougie.
sitting on 1 to 4 troops roughly. So it's like he's going to get eaten up eventually soon. Fratty left the game.
Stanley gets the skull and he's 0.1% below the Doomsday. That's the kind of situation that could be solved with just a small maneuver.
Eve wants to trade, is full sending Soviet, and might be able to make it out. Oh no, never mind. I just was watching the wrong guy.
He does not. We have that El Nico guy, who is also in the top right. And once those alliances expire out of Stanley, he's going to just get eaten up very quickly.
Yeah. The moment to kind of grab that extra 0.1% was, well, it was before he got the skull on his head, really, wasn't it?
Yes, it
But
was.
then maybe the first 5 seconds he had a window of opportunity, but now at no troops, there's just no way. Is there a way he could gain 0.1%? Like other than maybe if some bombs formed an annex or something?
You could get more if a big portion of the map is nuked, and then that will gain your percentage up a little bit.
Right.
But outside
Right.
of that, it's looking like a bad time for him. He's going to get eaten up right now by Drink the Dolls.
So the Doomsday Clock is rising again to 5%, guys. So any players below 5% map control are going to start losing troops as it ticks up. So currently it's on 3.6, which means Ramen gets the skull, but then he full sends space, not full sends, he huge sends Space Sheep, gets out of the zone, but then someone else has pushed him and he's back within the Doomsday zone. 3.7.
We have in that top Zorbix is expanding into multiple people in that top right. They got Doomsday, so they're going to get eaten up.
Yeah, you really don't want to get caught in the clock early game because that's when it's hardest to clutch. But if you do get caught, you have about 10 seconds of grace before you drain troops, and then 1 minute before you reach 0.
Right, okay. And is that draining down to 0? Is it linear? So let's say from 100k down to 0, 10 seconds. Is it 10,000 every second?
It speeds up. So initially it's slow, but then eventually it goes pretty quick. It also affects your warship health. So if you have warships, they're going to start draining off. Those die a little bit quicker than the troops, though.
So Uni has just got on the skull now, meaning he's going to start draining troops. He has to make a move. He should have probably done a big send on probably Wizard County, but he's not done so. And now he's draining troops. And that's probably going to be the end of his game. Still rising up to 5%. So more players like Jix have got the skull, Geographic have got the skull. And these players, to get out of the Doomsday Zone, they have to do a big send on somebody. Otherwise, all of their troops are just going to evaporate.
And if you've misplayed by not spreading out some boats earlier, if you're only stuck in one position, if you're stuck between only two big players, that's effectively going to end up in death for you in the long term.
What about economy? How does your economy function once you've got the skull of death?
At the moment,
It works the
does it-
same way.
Yeah.
So
Carry
it
on,
works
it
the
just
same
carries on.
way, and that's basically your only way to clutch, is to have a good economy. If you have a very good economy but bad territory, you could hydro and get someone a kill or something. It is going to be harder early game to do that, obviously, but yeah.
So Doomsday Clock's on 5%. It's about to start moving up to 10%. And it's because of this pace. This is what drives the games much faster than the games that we saw last weekend, guys. This is what forces the players to make a risky play to stay in the game. And ultimately, this is what we think as OFM, this is what we think is going to make the games more entertaining and faster for the viewer base.
We have an interesting situation with Uni. He's completely drained. He's been on the map for a while. I don't know if he doesn't have any gold either. So it's really just a matter of those alliance timers expiring for him to be getting eaten up. It was
Yeah, so
Wiper.
Swiper is the newest victim of the skull.
Swiper and Uni are really the only players at the moment under Doomsday. However, we have 3 more players, Spaceship, Wizard County, and Drink the Dolls. We're under 10%. It is slowly ticking up to 10%. They are going to have
Zorbic's
to make
attacking Spaceship.
There goes Uni to make 14.
Yeah, he betrayed a little bit too late there.
Looks like Spaceship got Doomsday. He had a bunch of his land taken that put him under the Doomsday Clock, and he's going to get eaten up too.
And this is the first time we play with the Doomsday Clock, so we will look at balancing it, making it, more, making sure it's fun to play with as well, not just entertaining to watch. So if we see too early on it like hits too many players and there's too much time left, we will expand it to make it slower and allow players to develop a little bit more organically at the beginning.
So Eagle Eye, kind of talk us over. We talked about this during one of the qualifier games, but half of those people have probably left and another half have probably joined. The reason Swiper hasn't just been instantly eliminated from the game by another player is because he sat on 20 million. And Eagle Eye kind of explained the potential danger that Swiper poses to his neighbors.
Yes, if someone attacks him, right, he's going to eat, at least 4 hydros in the face, possibly murder if he gets up to that point, which makes the attacker very vulnerable. So it isn't really a matter of risk reward. Is this player big enough that I want to risk taking 4 hydros in order to take his land, or do I just leave him there and let someone else kind of prick the porcupine per se, in order to take that land?
Geographic says that he is the Mito of Pentium 4. Is you down here? I see you. I see you.
So rest in peace to Geographic down there. He's just going to be sitting there. Just making some extra. Going for placement, I'm guessing, for the end game.
So we're currently holding on 10%, and there's 4 players above 10%. It's going to start rising to 20%, and there's only 1 player between 10 and 20%, which is Cos. So he's the only person that has the pressure right now. The pressure is all on Cos to get into that next bracket of Doomsday.
We have some big movements going on with Make. Cos, his only border is going to be Make down there. So if he wants to move, he's going to have to move quickly in order to get above that threshold.
Yeah, or he should have maybe boated into Swiper, or around him, or finding an island maybe next to him.
Definitely.
Because the warships did get drained, so he's vulnerable to boating attacks.
Yeah, and Make 14 is on Merv money, so Zorbix. 2 players on the board with Merv money. Doomsday Clock currently on 12.2, so Cox probably has. Is it a 0.1% every second on the clock?
It's
It's around that.
It's a little slower than that, but yes, roughly that
Yeah,
amount.
so
Close to it.
So Coz has 20 seconds to decide his move.
At this point, there's really only one move he can make, and that's going to be to hit make. He's going to be hit with a Merv in a counter. He does have to keep in mind that that's going to reduce his percent also when he gets Merved. So his opportunity might have gone away. Make at one point went down to like 100k troops. He should have attacked him then. However, he did not. That might be the death knell for him for not making that master decision, as this is OFM Masters. It matters when you make decisions.
So it might be a good play for Make to Merv Cause so that he can't, retaliate with one.
Yeah, definitely.
There's a lot of meta plays that might, be different from the original game, which players just aren't used to yet, and they're gonna discover them over time. One thing you don't want happening is just ending up where everyone except the leader is getting, attritioned by the clock, because then the leader can just win extremely easily, even if he gets Merved.
Looks like Cause is draining troops.
Yeah, he's probably just going to try and stay in the game with his alliances up, with his money, and he's probably just going to try and do what Zwiper's doing, and also what Ben Banowski has been doing for what looks like the past 10 minutes.
It does look like he is boating towards Swiper. If you look at the river,
has betrayed, and there's a Merv in the air, and he's betrayed and Merved Make 14.
He did it a little bit too late. He pretty much didn't have any troops left.
Make 14 takes a second Merv. Make 14 has fired a Merv onto Coz.
And I think the game is probably over here.
And that's game because nobody has Merved the biggest player in the game. So Zorbix is going to sail into the sunset.
That is interesting. Cause not making that move early, that probably was the death knell for him. He's unable to capitalize on the position he had in the end game. And that really is a master decision that someone needs to make in OFM Masters, to know when to attack and when to die.
And Ben Banowski is drawing a smiley face with atom bombs as the game ends there. Nice.
GG's
so we are noticing the games end like pretty quick. So we'll see how we tweak post tournament and see how we can balance it. So maybe early game, people have more of a chance against the clock, and then we'll see. So that does wrap up the semi-final. Make sure when we post the announcement, you double check if you made it to the final or not, because maybe you did.
Nice. Yeah, I'm hoping as long as everything goes smoothly, it won't be too long until the final. Like we said, the finalists are the people with the top 30, the 30 people with the most points, but the points are from the qualifier games and the semi-final game, which we just watched. So there could be some surprise qualifiers there for the final.
There could be. If you want to put this replay into the replay analyzer, the Flip Penguins analyzer, real quick, or his replay tool, we can watch it back and look at like specific points in the game where maybe someone could have made a decision to play and they just didn't.
Yeah, I do wonder if there's a few players, for whatever reason, potentially language barrier, maybe don't really understand the new meta. It's possible that some players aren't quite understanding what needs to happen at certain times.
Yeah.
This is a new feature.
I mean, I think it's going to take at least one of these tournaments for people to get used to. And even the good players, they're getting put at a lower level than they were because it is something new. And they're introduced to this just as much as all the other players. And so we might see less skill difference and, some new names showing up in the finalist rounds and whatnot.
So, you can tell that like the placement where you spawn matters a lot in order to get that. If you can get out of the early game with 3% immediately, you are safe for a greater amount of time at the very beginning. And so that might open up some potential spawns which were off meta, which some people may not think were good previously, but have become good now because of the pacing of the Doomsday Clock.
I'm going to speed us up until the doomsday clock starts ticking, and we can try and find some players, like you said, that maybe could have done something different. Let's have a look. Okay, we're on 2x now, and the clock has ticked up. The doomsday clock has ticked up to 3%.
So Stanley was the big person. They were at 2.9% very early on, and they just didn't make a move in order to get out of um, that threshold.
Yeah, no move at all, and they were big enough to potentially make a move on somebody.
Not having your boats around, not spreading out, probably hurts you in that regard. If you're on the side of the map, right, you don't have a 360 degree opportunity for expansion, that is going to happen.
We've got two people in chat saying hashtag free make. What does it mean? What does it mean? What drama is happening that I'm not aware of?
I'm not aware of that either. I've been with you the whole time.
Should we stay blissfully unaware?
I think that is the appropriate response whenever someone says free.
I'm cheesing it. Wants us to show who took him out of the game. Um, were you called cheesing it in game, Mister Cheesing?
Cheesing, you can always look at the replay. Once the replay has finished, you can watch the replay using like the Flow Penguin tool, and you can see the names after that, after the fact.
Okay, so we're gonna watch Zwiper here. So Doomsday Clock was ticking up to 5%.
Now,
And
Zwiper does
Zwiper
have,
is on 5%. Yeah, just about.
Exactly 5%. There's opportunity he could have in the north, in the middle. He could have voted into the north middle part.
Yeah, geographic here was on 4.5, and the island of Socotra, sorry, the island of Socotra was claimed by Bembe with no warships in. I don't think that would have gave him 0.5. It would have helped, but I don't think it would have took him across the finish line to stay in the zone.
Yeah, it severely punishes if you don't spread out along the map, or if you're not in a more central position, you are not going to be able to just have the opportunity to expand. So Zwiper though in the middle, he has the timer now. There's potential boat opportunities into someone like Uni, into Spaceship, who's probably one of his weaker neighbors. He could have tried to expand there. He didn't get an opportunity to expand. He has 14 mil. He could have sent hydros. He could have hydroed people to try and extend his troop count, his percent land. But nothing
Yeah,
on the
so
map was
pause it
done.
on 5%. Zwiper obviously about to enter the Doomsday Zone.
He
What could
has
have been
entered.
done?
You have to be above 5%. So he could be 5.1%. He'd be fine. If he had gotten boats into Uni, if he had hydroed Spaceship and tried to attack it to him, if he had hydroed anywhere else, he would have had a better opportunity.
Right.
Instead, he just sat there and with his gold in tow. He played for a little bit of placement, and he ended up getting out of the game eventually. We have another player, Uni. Right now, we saw that in the middle of the game. He was just sitting there. So it's likely just an alliance timer issue where the alliances were not removed, so no one could eat him quickly. It is starting to tick up to 10% at this point, right? So we have Wizard and Spaceship and Drink the Dolls, who all will be under that 10% threshold. And Spaceship gets eaten by Zorbix before that even happens. So he gets big attack by Zorbix, and then he gets the timer, the Doomsday timer on him. And he has a beginning to lose his troops, but not really relevant because he is getting eaten at that point. Really, the next one would be Drink the Dolls and this Wizard County player. Wizard also gets eaten up.
He got cleared. Yeah. Drink the Dolls, there are 9.4. So let's have a look. So Drink the Dolls is playing the game right now. He senses that he's got about 12 seconds until until he enters the danger zone.
He could have grabbed land from
Um,
Wizard County. That was a betrayal. Also, he just didn't take any of that land, which means that he could have made a move and he just didn't.
mhm, mhm. Could have been distracted. Could have been trying to land a boat somewhere. Could have been, uh, telling his mum that it's not bedtime yet. You've got no idea. But yeah, he should have seen this, and it would have kept him in the game.
We just have
But
cause
sometimes
over
these
here.
attacks, sometimes those attacks are over in 10 seconds, right? And you can miss the moment. You can easily miss the moment.
Yep.
In open front games, you have to observe the map around you. You can't just be tunnel visioned on one spot of the map because you'll miss so many opportunities.
And this is not open front casuals. This is open front masters. If you want to, get beat in the game at a high level, you have to be aware of things that are happening on the map. He's got a couple seconds till he gets under the threshold, and he gets eaten up by Pentium instead, and that puts him under the threshold. So only one Hydro as a response. Unfortunate on his regard, but he's going to get eliminated from the game. So it's at this point that we consider what Cause did. So Cause sitting at 15.7%. Really, his only expansion opportunity is Make right there in the middle.
Ozwiper, the river systems are there.
He could get to there. He doesn't end up boating onto Swiper at all throughout the game. That is 5% of the land, so it is possible for him to get there. Just doesn't end up
yeah,
doing
you're
that.
right. Actually, Zwiper there almost perfectly fitting together with his 15, like a Lego. It could have been the land that he needed. Zwiper was sat on first Merv money, and that might have been the deterrent that Zwiper needed. If there was an alliance, Cos would have had to have broken alliance to then send the boat, which would have made him an easy target for Make. Although Cos was on higher troops than Make at this moment. So what do you think, Eagle Eye? If I was to say, should the play for Cos have been break alliance with Zwiper, assuming that there was one, 1% boat in, and I'm also going to say that Zwiper's likely response would have either been Hydros or a Merv.
I mean, realistically, it's going to be very difficult to get to Zwiper. And with his deterrent, like you said, it's going to maybe it's worth it to eat a Merv if it means that you gain more land. However, really Cause's best opportunity is it to Make, or if you get a boat down into Pentium on the bottom left. That's another possible opportunity for him. Keep in mind the rest of the board, right? Make also has to worry about Zorbix, and he eats up Pentium right here, basically for free.
And this moment here could have been Cos's moment to push Make.
Yes, this one right here. I think there might have also been another opportunity where Make sends in, but I mean, this is a huge bit. You could send twice his land. You could hit Make and then Merv Zorbix. Like there is a lot of opportunities. Just make any action really. Do anything is better than just sitting here and losing the game to yourself.
Yeah, because going off the different scoring metrics in the hybrid scoring system, he's not gonna, let's say he doesn't do anything, he's not going to outlast anyone else that he's not already outlasted. He's not going to eliminate anybody. He's probably not going to eliminate anybody. There's only a few people left on the map. Now, actually, let me backtrack. There's a couple of pixels on the map. Should these players have been thinking about atom bombs for some of these pixel players? Players like Bembe on this island down here.
From Cause's perspective, even if you could Hydro Whale right there, the Mido, you could Hydro Bembe down in the island to guarantee higher placement. There's just a bunch of extra stuff you could do that are not just sitting there and dying.
True, but it's like that meme, isn't it? Every male's fantasy is just to bleed out on like the shore of a frozen lake.
True.
That's what Cos is doing right now.
True. It's what is that? It's Blade Runners, right?
I don't know. I've not seen those films. I probably should see those films because I'm a big sci-fi fan.
Yes, it is great kino for all the young men watching. Great aura you could farm by watching those.
Big aura.
By this point, like with Make having regen his troops, having gained all those structures from the Pentium player that he killed on the bottom, it is looking pretty tough for Kaz at this point. And he has, yep. So now the Doomsday timer hits because he didn't make any action at all. And that's kind of what we want to see. If you are in a position where you could do something and you don't, you're going to get kicked out of the game through your own incompetence and lack of willing to move.
Yeah. And this is the game decided moment. And like if we look at the map before we saw who won the game, Make was on more troops than Zorbix, more land than Zorbix, more gold than Zorbix.
Yep.
Let's check economy as well, so I can add to my argument. Oh, huge twice the size economy, twice the size cities. But we know that Zorbix won the game, right? I'm not going crazy. Yeah, Zorbix won the game.
Yes.
And it's interesting to see how this plays out. So it looks like Cox broke first. Cox broke alliance. Cos broke alliance. Broke alliance.
He broke it way
Mervs
late,
Make.
unfortunately
Way
for
late.
himself.
Way late. Yeah.
In-
At this
Yeah.
point, there was nothing. There was nothing to win. Once that Doomsday timer was on Cos's head, it's too late. It's too late.
If this game, like previous game modes, had continued without a Doomsday Clock, Make would have won the game by far
Mhm.
because of his advantage position, and it increases
Mhm.
over time due to his economy and his troops. But that doesn't happen.
Yeah, Cos
We
lands the
do
Merv
have
on
the final those registered
Nice.
for the final. We're gonna be
Here's the link
starting
up.
it up in about like 5 or so minutes.
Nice.
Yeah. Also wanted to comment for this game. It's interesting to see because having a position that's more central is advantageous early on to maybe get more land and not get eliminated by the Doomsday. But it's maybe not as advantageous in the late game because you're gonna be the target of anyone who is in the Doomsday Clock and wants to chip away
True.
or get some
True.
last minute land. So
Very
it's an
true.
interesting balance where if you manage to make it out as someone on the side, you are at a better position. But it's also
Yeah.
harder to get there.
I would say Make was unlucky in this situation. He received the first Merv from Cos. You can't blame Cos because Make was his only neighbor. But Cos wasn't going to win the game. Cos was already on 10 troops. Cos Mervs Make. And then Zorbix just takes the opportunity, lands a second Merv on Make, and Zorbix takes the game, even though Make was the stronger of the two leaders in the game there. Pretty interesting finish to the game.
So far, I've been loving how the Doomsday Clock forces players to actually move, and it punishes players who just want to sit there and do nothing.
Yeah. And that isn't to say that the meta for FFA has to change. Maybe this isn't something. I mean, I'm just going to go out on a limb now and say that I don't think I'd want to see this as a standard for FFA. Because in a normal public FFA, maybe I want the game to last 20 minutes. Maybe I want to be able to economy max, trade max, whatever.
Right.
But in the competitive scene, maybe this is a good change. Should we get that final?
Yeah, I think what we're gonna be seeing is it being a game modifier that's just like jumping around, and you can join in if you want like quicker games. But the presets exist for the Doomsday Clock, and this we're using the fast preset, which is made for like 25-minute games. There is also a slow preset, for example, which goes to like over 40 minutes, which allows you to still have that original game feel while avoiding very long stalemates that might last hours.
Mm-hmm.
And the game link has been posted for the final round.
Okay.
Awesome. Yeah,
You guys are going to. Sorry.
I've had some situations where you get into that 3-hour game, you wait for the final ticker, there's just no opportunity to move, and it is cancer. You never want to play those games.
Yeah, I sometimes AFK the games where it just becomes SimCity 3000 Deluxe Edition. I just can't be bothered. Just can't be bothered. I don't have an hour to trade boats with you. I just don't. I just don't have an hour to sit here and build ports. I want to play the next game, and at the end of those economy maxing games, the winner is based on who goes first because their mother has made them their dinner, or because their kids need to go to bed. And then whoever fires the Mervs end up going to random players on the map. And there's not usually a finish to a game like that feels logical.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's why we're gonna be seeing later in the public games tweaking with, how long it takes, so that you can have the best of both worlds with the ability to prolong some games and have a little bit of stalemates where it's more of a economy game, but without stretching to those 2 hour long games, 3 hour long games.
Okay, I'm in the lobby for the final. This is the final, guys. Well done if you qualified. If you didn't, unfortunate.
There will be plenty
we
of
had-
opportunities to qualify in future tournaments. We're running tournaments every Saturday at this point. We have scheduled. And so just make sure to pay attention to the OFM Discord, be active in it, look for the registrations for future tournaments. And the qualifications for the majors are going to start being calculated, so you'll be able to know if you are qualified for a major or not.
Nice.
No technical issues so far, Zixer, if I am correct. This looks like this will count.
Yeah, for now it's been very clean. I didn't notice anything. There were some small issues with the commands and some things to refine to make it a little smoother, but overall, no issues.
The fact that these lobbies host automatically, that everybody knows, when they can join a lobby, when the game link gets posted, it makes running these tournaments so smooth.
And it's also very easy if we think about it. Like, we're not that many staff members, and we're still able to run like 10 lobbies in 2 hours.
Yep.
With pretty much no teaming.
Lonely Millenial can talk about things that he saw in previous tournaments where it's just been so bad waiting for things and having to manage just all the players.
Yeah. There's been all kinds of delays in different tournaments, and it's okay. But even if the casters do a pretty good job of entertaining people, talking about things, nobody wants to be sat around for a long time, waiting for the next game. So, yeah, this system that you've built, this automated system, this time so far, Touchwood, has worked extremely smoothly. And this is perfect. This is so good. One of the things I said one of the things I said to the OFM staff with the new team coming in was that the OFM tournaments need to set the bar so high, so high, which is just good for the entire community. If the OFM tournaments set the bar high in the sky, then all the other community tournaments ran by the other communities, all they can do is get better as well, and the whole community, the whole scene just improves in quality. So yeah, it's perfect. Well done to the OFM guys.
Yep.
And even now it's still a beta if we think about it. So we're still gonna be looking at how we can make it even quicker and even less delays between games. Because even now we still waited around 10 minutes before it started. So
Predictions, Eagle Eye. Couple people asking for predictions.
Predictions: there will be a winner to this game. I predict there will be a winner.
Okay.
We can tell who's the expert in the field in this voice chat.
So it looks. I mean, the level of skill in this lobby is very high. It's spread all around. There's no clear cut person who I think can win this from the outset just based on who's in the lobby, which is what we like to see. We like to see the finals being the masters of the game in the tournament. Now on the map, you have a person spawning on the bottom left who has a bunch of land to himself. That brown player in the bottom left right there.
Make is an interesting contender who hasn't been heard much around OFM, but has.
I don't recognize that name.
Made
Is he
it
in a
pretty
clan?
far in a few games and even won one of the qualifiers.
Nice.
I don't think he's in a clan, no.
Yeah, we'll see if yeah, any kind of questions about integrity or alts or stuff like that will be answered after tournaments. We're not like super regulating it during it, but for the majors, you can guarantee that they're going to be unique individuals in there. Um, we have a bunch only in the top left. Also, there's a player who just took that corner by himself. Zwiper, it looks like that's going to be really nice.
Mhm.
I do predict he's going to do very well in this game based on where he's spawning. Dougie also getting a huge corner
Mm.
land right there. That is a great opportunity for him to actually be able to snowball. Where previous games we saw him die to the timer a lot, he should be able to stay above that timer and
Mhm.
expand pretty
I'm
well.
I'm rooting for Dougie.
It is
I got a good
also,
feeling for
you know, a
Dougie.
30-player game, so it's gonna be a little easier to not die very early on.
Yeah.
Is anybody in the bottom right? Did anybody take the isolated
Yeah,
position? We
Chuma.
have Chuma. Interesting. So he will likely end up being safe and being able to expand. He is boating out a lot too, so that it looks very good on his front. We
I thought
have
this player here was a Nation, the classic Nation role play LARP.
classic situation there.
Classic.
And yeah, and we can see as much as there is some luck involved in some of the qualifier games, in the end, because there's so many of them, we still see pretty much only the best of the best in this final round.
So some noble player, Ducky has gotten that huge cutoff in that corner, so he's going to be quite big. We have Alpha sitting next to him. He's probably going to be looking at early pushing someone just to get above that threshold. We have Geographic Edix choosing to be in the middle. He's attacking that nation, going to get an extra city out of that. Gix over on the left, the SPQR Gix player, grabbing a lot of land, putting a warship out pretty quickly. So that should be good. Cause, of course, taking another bit. He's got his own little corner in that top.
I'm going to assume Gix is sending that warship to the strait over here.
100%.
No, he's not.
Oh,
No,
interesting.
he's not. He's just keeping it there.
There's a lot of trade on this map to be stolen in that middle. So if we see players put warships there, they're going to be making ooga booga bucks there.
Ooga booga.
So
Player there
Dougie is the
disconnected.
largest player for now.
Dougie with the crown.
That's 5.5%. So he's even going to be up above the second threshold. He could take some time, some opportunity there.
Imperium Romanum pushing into Lud. He's gone very low on troops. And he's not noticed the AFK player below him.
I assume it looks like Alpha's going to take out part of his position up in the north, try to keep him out of his little backyard there. But Spaceship is taking the AFK player's land. He's going to get pretty big based off that. We have Uni up there in the middle. And I think Zwiper is, if I'm correct, he might be boat banking if he's not trying to get another position up to that left. Yeah, that's going to be a big boat bank. So he will either let that land if he thinks it's safe, or he'll recall it when he's going to hit one of his neighbors. We have,
and I'm guessing then boat banks are more, powerful in this game mode now, since you can save some troops and then use them after even you got hit by attrition.
Yeah, that is true. But also keep in mind that you do need those troops a little earlier than you might need them before.
Yeah, for sure.
We have got the rise to 3% starting in 3 seconds, which means anyone below 3% land control is in big danger. And that is about 10 players. Let's have a look. Starting from the bottom, Stanley, he's very small. He's probably just going to get eaten anyway. European Federation, he is all out of troops. He is full sent. Someone's going to clear him out anyway. Mr. Trader, he's being eaten up, so he's fine. Ramen there in the middle of the map. He's not in immediate danger. He's high on his troop cap. He's safe. He's probably got alliances, but in 20 seconds he's going to get the attrition of the Doomsday Clock. So he has to do something. Unlike the last map, this map's quite open, right? You can boat around different places. There's rivers. It's a very open map, which means more opportunity to save yourself from the attrition.
We do. We have Gix getting eaten up on that left side also, so he's going to fall below the threshold also. We're at 1%. Mr. Trader is going to fall below that threshold right now. Drink the Doll is also in danger. European Federation, we mentioned he's low on troops. Ramen sitting at 1.9%. He's got to make a move also.
Yep. He's getting eaten up by Alpha. Imperium Romanum has betrayed and been cleared from the game. Ramen's getting cleared from the game. Doomsday Clock is on 1.5. Drink the Dolls is next to be affected.
Drink the Doll sat up with her with like 4 or 5 defense posts. Like that is, he was really worried about that. And it's not going to matter in the end game because he is going to get eaten. Looks like SPLS is going to end up taking that.
Paranoid is getting eaten up.
Paranoid, oh, yep,
In the
right in the middle
of the
by
game.
Globy. He's getting destroyed right there. A lot of juicy land
Everyone's
there. Getting
everyone's
piranha.
kind of eating up at him.
So he's going to end up falling below that. That's a wild annex, though, by Globy on that right side. That is unfortunate for Paranoid. Dougie
has betrayed.
Betraying into Globy. Interesting choice there to betray into Globy. He's going to get
Was it maybe a misclick?
Yeah, I don't know. That
maybe
no nukes went out.
He wasn't in immediate danger of
He didn't have that much money. He was very good in terms of attrition.
I mean, he might have thought that, oh, if I start Piranha and Globy, then these other players might jump in. That is not the competitive mindset. That is not what people do in these games.
So I'm thinking maybe he misclicked.
Maybe. Rising to 3%.
Which is a shame because he was quite, he had a good position.
Definitely. Bembe is now, with the attrition, he's got weaker neighbors. The full scent should have happened 10 seconds ago, but it didn't.
He didn't. He's going to lose his opportunity. He just sat there. He tried to go eco. He's building a silo now, but unfortunately, that's just not going to be enough. He did not make a move on any of his neighbors or boat around anywhere. He's going to end up dying there. Looks like
he said he's not sure how he got the debuff, so maybe he nuked someone by accident or something. Yeah, we'll have to see in the replay.
It's unfortunate, Dougie. That sometimes even the masters, they make mistakes. So we have Alpha and Zorbix fighting a little bit. Zorbix coming out on top of that little battle. Not enough troops on either of them to really finish it up. And Alpha's also going to get eaten up by a third player. Possibly that's Bembe trying to take some land from Alpha, but he's going to get eaten by Zorbix too.
Did Bembe boat bank? Because he's back up on troops there. I know he's going down on troops, but he was lower than this, and he's back up.
He might have temporarily gone above 3%. Not certain how.
Pentium might want to start moving and attacking maybe Bembe or someone. Because
Pentium's below.
And he does not have that much money either, so...
Again, we talked about how these players who spawn in the middle, they might go for factories that might just not have enough eco to be able to push early. And Globy's going to hit Pentium instead.
And he also betrayed a little bit too late there. So
Chuma's next.
Chuma getting
betrayed.
Getting eaten up by SMS Fun right there in the middle.
And the last person within the 5% reaches Cheese Maxing.
Cheese Maxing. He was the guy in the chat earlier.
He is quite close
on
4.8.
He just needs
close.
He needs a little bit of land. That's all he needs, just a little bit.
Although Make is going to take this Hydro, is Cheese Maxing going to be in a position to push back?
He needs to either way.
He might be.
He dips
into
the
right alliances.
It looks like he is.
He makes it.
He did get out of it.
Now, is he going to be able to stay out of it is the better question. Because he's still in that threshold.
4.5, yeah. He's going to dip back in now. And Make is the target unless he's taken an alliance.
It is going to be a battle between Make and Cheese Maxing for the threshold. They're both under 5%. Both at 4.8.
Is just clinging on to his position.
They might be able to both survive if they get that
nuke land. Their SMS is going to try and get that nuke land from them, though. And
Make needs to start moving.
Make is under the threshold.
No,
Is,
yeah.
is it gonna be
Cheese
enough?
Maxing just above. Cheese Maxing is just about going to secure 5%. It looks like.
They need 5.1%.
He
So
doesn't though. He's a.
Oh,
Did he
no, he needs
ally?
to push
Oh.
make.
Did he take the Make Alliance or not? That's the question.
Nope. Seems he did not.
He did.
He
Oh,
did
he
take
did.
it.
Why?
Unfortunate.
Why?
Oh.
No.
We have a
That one-
betrayal out
he
by
needs to
SMS.
find
In the middle of
some
betrayal
kind
by
of land.
SMS.
Space Sheep seems like he's gonna die.
So SMS
On
there
the
was
right side.
able to get a betrayal, a safe betrayal out, so he's gonna live out that timer and just survive it. We have Zorbix and Globy both in a pretty big.
He might
winning
want to chip
position.
away. Could he not chip away with some nukes, Cheese
He
Maxing?
could. And
I
he's
think
going to.
Oh,
That's something he should have been doing, but I think he hasn't thought about
It's
that.
too
Looks
late,
like
though.
he's
It's
out.
climbing now to 10.
looks like Cheese
And we're climbing to
Maxing is
10%
out.
now, which means Cheese Maxin's attrition, Make 14 is going to get the attrition. Geographic Edits
Ooh,
is
Make
the next
is doing a
kind of...
push against SMS. I don't think it's gonna work
No.
though.
Very
no,
tiny.
no,
That's
no.
nothing. Nothing happened there.
I'm not sure why he
Geographic
didn't do that
Edit
against Cheese Maxing. Maybe.
is the next big player to suffer from the attrition. He's got 800,000 troops. Cheese Maxin's got the skull. Geographic is taking the attrition. He's pushing. And he's not betrayed for that, which is good. But
Maybe
he
he
needs to be
timed
thinking
well his
about.
alliance.
Yeah, he needs to be thinking about warships, and he's going to get across. Perfect. Oh, he's not going to get it though. He's not
That's
going to get it.
unfortunate for Cheese Maxing. He's going to be sitting at about 8%, I think, after this land take. Globy betrayal, Merv onto
Ooh.
SMS. Does anybody make that move? And it looks like Globy's going to continue making that move. He betrays for it. Some counter hydros coming out. Zorbix sitting there pretty safely. And he makes a move.
Zorbix clean up, just like last game.
Zwiper's in here too. Zwiper gets a lot of land.
And
from
Geographic is also has a lot of troops, and does get a lot of land.
So Globy just basically
Seems-
killing himself on SMS Fund. That is an interesting play there. He wasn't even close to threshold too. He could have just survived a little longer out there. But this is a 4-player endgame, it looks like, with the clock not even ticking up to 10% yet.
And something like this would have stalemated until the end.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We see a spite hydro by the player in the bottom right onto SMS.
It seems like he was saving up the whole game just for that.
It's in sock over there.
There are a lot of kills, but in the final, I guess kills don't matter anymore. So
Yeah, true.
unless you're a smaller player and you want to make it higher up in the rankings.
So we've had 2 Mervs, I think. First Merv costing 25, second is 40, is that right? Or does it go by 10 or 15?
I only saw the Merv on SMS. Was there another one that went down?
Well, there's maybe I'm misunderstanding then, because there are holes in Zorbix, but he could have taken that land. So there's only been 1 Merv. Second Merv is going to cost 35 or 40.
It should be. It's up by 15. So it should be 40 for the second Merv.
40, yeah. So we got 2 people on the board with Merv money, and soon to be 3.
So that's going to be a deterrent. Typically in these kinds of end games, one of the players will get merved and the other one will get full sent by whoever thinks they can make the move the fastest.
So it is going to be 20% for the clock, and it's going to start raising in 30 seconds, and we have 2 players under that threshold. So let's see maybe if they can get that nuke land.
One of them does have a merv too. SMS should be able to take that nuke land and be able to actually continue. He is banking on the boat line too, so he has a lot more troops than what people might think he has at the moment. He is slowly climbing up that percentages in that nuke land.
Geographic is gonna have to take some nuke land now if he doesn't want to.
It doesn't look like he's trying to take that. He
It
might get up
seems
to
like
40
he maybe
mil.
isn't noticing.
He might get that merv and try and make a move. We have 2 players
might have
with
not
second merv money.
noticed that he should be taking some nuke land.
Doomsday Clock is at 12%, and Geographic is about to cross that second merv threshold. We'll see if he ends up making a move.
Geographic of all the players is in the most danger of the attrition. So is he going to be the person to fire the Merv?
He has to. If he doesn't, it's just going to be GG for him.
He at least should have been attacking some of the new clan, but it seems like he just isn't doing much.
Yeah, he's only got a few new clan craters there that he could boat onto.
And he
We've
is
got
he is kind of a newer player in the scene, so he might not understand that he needs to keep moving in order to survive. SMS sitting at 19.8%. He just needs to take a little bit of nuclear and he'll be fine.
5 seconds until Geographic Edits starts losing troops.
So let's see what happens.
And now
There
I'm
it is.
interested in seeing that.
Is he gonna make a move or not? Let's see.
No, I don't think he is. He should have happened 10 seconds ago.
It seems Globy misclicked the Merv to be a little early. He said, I was shaking and cost me the game.
That's unfortunate.
So that will be unfortunate. Geographic
There's
is
the
just
attrition.
depleting.
Yeah, there's the attrition. He's not doing anything.
Again, it might be interesting as a player with the largest economy to just Merv him and try and get his land. So that he can't Merv back.
He does have a counter Merv now at 60 mil, so
Now, yeah, just now. So maybe now it's a little too late.
So Geographic is essentially knocking himself out of the game by not moving at all. He's playing for placement, I guess, in the finals, but ultimately he does not have a way to win this tournament at this point.
Yeah, that's the risk you're going with if you don't do anything at all. And in my opinion, might as well try and do something last second, and you still get a placement, maybe as a small island player or a small pixel remaining somewhere. But yeah.
So the next threshold is going to be 30%. It's going to start ticking up in 20 seconds. SMS is pretty close to that threshold. Zorbix and Viper are not. So SMS is going to have to make a move. He's the one forced into the position now.
Dougie, it is going to be interesting to see the replay, I guess, to see what happened. And yeah.
And we've started ticking up at this point. SMS is in danger.
Yeah, SMS is going to have to do something if he doesn't want to die.
Gold-wise, we are in third Merv territory. We could also see from Zwiper, if SMS does end up, getting low on troops, we could see like a triple Merv scenario from Zwiper pushing up that Merv price and trying to take Geographic and SMS's land quickly at the last second in order to get that 80% win with a rush.
We do see they're playing a little bit safer than in the previous qualifier games, what we saw. And they're also, being more careful with who they're attacking and using their gold on. Now, he did reach the unstable stage, so he needs to do something if he doesn't want to die.
Is he going to make a move, or is he going to sit and hope that his gold is a deterrent?
Let's see.
Almost.
I mean, at this point, if Zwiper just Mervs a few times Zorbix, he might just win, having the crown.
I think that is Viper's winning condition. He just needs to triple, quadruple Merv onto Zorbix. Zorbix is spending his money down, so it looks pretty. And looks like Viper also has spent a little bit of money down also.
There's one or two pixel players just throwing some random bombs. We've got Stanley and Globy.
Oh, we have a betrayal, but I don't know why he did it this late.
Looks like it's an
interesting
double
play.
SMS Mervs both other players, and
he gets above 30%. He gets above 30%.
Oh, he gets crown, meaning that he doesn't get attrition anymore.
However, all the nukes coming out now at this point. Zwiper is below 30%. So we're seeing Zwiper. This happened in another game. He just didn't move in order to take advantage of his position.
And I think now Zorbix is going to win. So I guess this is the win condition if you're a attrition player is trying to get the crown, but it's a risky play.
It looks like Zorbix is going to be able to clean up just because he was only nerfed once. No other counter bombs went onto him.
For Zwiper on 60 mil right now, surely that's enough hydros to give to
Absolutely.
do something to Zorbix.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he should be doing this now before, unless they already threw too many Mervs, maybe. But even then, they should hydro to at least try and get the crown.
He's not spending any of his money. He could have likely gotten above that 30% threshold had he just sent hydros onto Zorbix, destroyed that land percent, and he could have done something. He just
He's
didn't.
still not doing anything. This is still, Okay, now he's throwing some hydros. Maybe a little
It's too late, though.
It's way
too
late.
There was a moment there before Zorbix landed onto that northwest side of the map that Zwiper could have landed close to 10.
It might have
over
also
10
just been
hydros.
stress. We see a lot of the top
yeah.
players just losing from being too anxious and shaking too much.
Yeah,
now we
hands.
see the hydros.
Now we see it,
which might be a little too late. We'll see.
Frankly,
I don't think it's gonna be enough.
It is way late at this point. Zorbix has already gone. He's grabbing that Heartland. This game looks like it is over. All the money is being expended, which is what we like to see in these kind of competitive games. People not spending it on the board. Just a question of timing. Maybe he should have done this a lot earlier so he could stay above that threshold.
If Zwiper and SMS were to ally and start trade maxing, and if Zorbix wasn't included in that trade maxing, and theoretically if Zwiper and SMS fired enough hydrogen bombs, could they win the game?
Theoretically, yes. It is low on time at this point, and Zorbix is cleaning up a lot more. So I don't think that's going to be possible in the long run.
The thing that's interesting to see is that I think any of the three could have won there if they played better. Because they all had their own chance to spend the gold to get the crown and win. It's just they didn't utilize it in time, and I guess Zorbix is the only one who did.
We see a lot of nerves coming up in the end games of the final tournaments, and whoever is able to stay above them, above themselves, to stay in control of themselves, is able to capitalize on this and end up winning the game. In this case, it was Zorbix.
Yeah. And it's interesting to see this is just in the minors, so let's see what happens when it's majors or grand championships. When there's even more pressure, even more viewers.
There's going to be a huge amount of pressure on all of these players, and we're really going to see, just like in this tournament, we saw the people who can handle the stress are going to do well, and people who cannot are going to kill themselves in the tournament.
Yeah,
I am so hyped for the actual minors and majors, because even just these testing tournaments have been quite a lot of fun. And these are just testing tournaments, guys. Yeah, I am so hyped for the big tournaments.
So it seems Zorbix is going to win now. And
GG.
GG to Zorbix for winning the V2 beta. Just a reminder,
it seems we got an ad.
we got an ad at the very end. Rip. We'll work on that. We'll work on timing those ads better.
Yeah.
I guess with a 1 minute delay, maybe it's going to be perfectly timed with Zorbix winning.
Maybe, but they're a minute behind. So
they
didn't see the last minute of Zorbix.
So I think exactly when he wins, it's going to be the ad.
Well,
yeah.
Everyone kind of knew what was going to happen, so it's not that big of a deal.
But yeah, I think it's very interesting to see that at the end there, they all three of them could have won. They all had the opportunity. It's just Zorbix is the only one who managed to get ahead of the stress.
Very good job by all our players. I'll wait 30 seconds for the closing. Thank you and everything.
Any stages, anything like that, or no?
Not in this one yet. We will implement that in the future. Just the final stage. But yeah, really good job.
Yeah, so looking at all of this, I'm not sure. We'll see how we tweak the clock. We might, because I think overall it's pretty well tweaked already. It's just some little things. Maybe what we'll do is progressive pace for it. So maybe in the early qualifier games, it's slow, doomsday clock, and maybe in the final it stays fast. Because I think the pace of this one was very good because there were less players. So yeah, we'll have to see.
Yeah. Everyone, I'd like to thank everyone for watching the OFM Masters V2 Beta tournament. This is our second test tournament that's happened officially. No tech issues, no big tech issues happened in this tournament, so we'll be considering this tournament for qualifying for our major that will be happening. Keep in mind to pay attention to the announcements in the OFM server for the future tournaments. We're going to have a tournament every week. It's just a matter of whether or not it's a minor or a major or a grand championship. We'd like you all to really stay engaged in the community, be welcoming to a lot of the new players. A lot of them just don't understand how to play at this high level, and we'd love it if we could expand the community and get more people in here playing. Just appreciate everyone who participated. Thanks to everyone who watched. We hope it was entertaining. We hope you guys liked all the new stuff, all the systems we're putting in place, and we hope to see you guys next week.
Yeah, brilliant.
And I do want to thank also Lonely as well as Eagle for hosting this. I think you've been amazing cast and just host in general.
Thank you, sir.
Maybe if we
thank you
can,
guys.
right before closing, if there's any questions, or you know, maybe in the chat if people have questions for me or for Eagle or anyone.
Yeah, if you have in the chat, if you have anything to say, go ahead and say it now. We're all watching. I know there's a 1 minute delay, so we'll wait at least a minute.
Yeah, I'll get us started. What's next, guys?
Yeah, so I think the beta went extremely well, meaning we are gonna start the season next weekend. We're gonna announce that separately, and we're also gonna discuss between each other with leads and whatnot. But the real season is going to start pretty soon with the quote unquote real minors and the major lined up. That means we're gonna be releasing the formats for the major, releasing all of those. Long term, as we know, we have also the team format that we're interested in looking at and how we can integrate it. Maybe we can also introduce more rounds to the final games. There's a lot of ideas that we need to float around and see what how we can fine tune everything. So I think, yeah.
My big idea. I'm going to throw an idea in the hat of ideas. My big idea is a teams league. So maybe 10 teams, maybe 15, maybe 20. Teams of 4, and games are played every weekend. Not necessarily all teams play every weekend, but games are played every weekend. And points are given out a bit like the Premier League or a bit like whatever your favorite sporting league is. 3 points for a win. And through a kind of league system, you might see what's the correct word? Fanship. Is that a word? Fanship? No.
Yeah.
You might see fanship arise for teams more, and you might see rivalries develop more as well.
Yeah, and this is definitely one of the big reason we want to look at the team game modes beyond just the competitive aspect of it. Is there is a lot of interesting things that can happen with people wanting a certain team to win or another team to win, and also being able to watch teamwork within the game, because these solo games are just like whoever expands the quickest and whoever is able to be the best individual player. Whereas teams games, it's much more, as implied, a teamwork where you want to maybe maximize economy between each other, or how you expand is different than in one player tournaments. So yeah.
In terms of questions, we just got anyone asking about rewards, and all that we do have is if this tournament went through without any problems, then I think they're going to give some spots for the major tournaments based on winners from this tournament.
I guess I'll cut into there. So